Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Our sugar beet harvest is coming along absolutely beautifully. We have no reasons to complain about this whatsoever, so we're going to set that one going down through there, because it was almost met up with the one on the other side, and so there's only a little narrow strip left on this one. This has got nearly 8 million litres of sugar beet on board. This one has got 7.2 million, and then the other one has got 2 million. So we've got a lot of millions of litres of sugar beet on board these three little creatures. And by the time we get towards the end of this episode, we should hopefully be able to stick a whole load of this stuff into the gorges up there where we've been ploughing near. So that's going on at the moment. As you can see up in the top left hand corner, I currently have my frame rate displayed, and it's at 60 frames a second. Since I did have a few issues with that Litre bulldozer that I was using. It's under Lambo Construction. Lambo Mods is not a vehicle, not a car, I should say. It's an auto-load timber trailer. And the Lambo Construction over here, that is the Litre bulldozer. I have made some changes to it, to the width and the speed and everything, but that one does seem to affect the frame rates on the game. So it's, after I deleted it, well, sold it, the frame rates went back down again. So just be careful when you're using that one. You may run into some issues, you may not, I don't know. But yeah, do you want me to keep the frame rates up there during the unrealistic series? We won't have it there for the realistic series. It's only going to be for this unrealistic one. So it's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And let me just, this one is now full. So I just want to see if we can actually go anywhere. I'm going flat out. Oh, no, it's moved. It did actually move. So we can go somewhere. It's certainly loaded it down. Now this, remember, we do actually have 1.1 million in fertilizer. It costs more than that. Just remember that we do actually have the mod on at the moment that gives us like an unrealistic amount of weight per thing. It's part of the realistic weight adjustment, but there's like a little extra that the author to that particular mod did, where you can have an unrealistic weight adjustment. So everything is really, really light, which is the only reason this tractor is able to go anywhere without actually tipping right back up onto its haunches. It's not doing very well though, is it? So we've got all of this fertilizer. We need to do something with it. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, and at the moment the tractor has stopped. It seems to sometimes go and sometimes not, and it kind of, yeah, at the moment it doesn't want to go anywhere. So I don't want to back it into that sign. That's just going to cause us problems. Oh, let's not go into the traffic. I really don't want to go into the traffic. Go forward. Is it going to go forward? I'm going flat out. It says forward flat out, but it's not doing it. I can go backwards, but I think that's because it's ever so slightly downhill. So, yeah, it really doesn't like it. If I can turn it. I really, really don't want to get hit by a car, because that is just going to catapult us across the map, and I don't really want to do that with all of this on board, because it could actually crash the game completely. Is it going to go? It's not going to go, is it? It's not going to pull forward at the moment. So let's just back it up over here somewhere so that we're kind of... It's not going to drift and bounce and slide its way over onto the road, or at least not quite yet. So if we can move it back here somewhere, and we'll park it up, and then we're going to decide what we're going to do with it. I'm thinking that we will try and tip it out somewhere. So let's just stop that one and park it, and we'll walk away from it. We'll go back to our ploughing. Yeah, I'm thinking that we will probably try to tip it out somewhere so that we can then sort of play around, experiment with it, something like that. Not quite sure what just yet, but anyway. Our ploughing now, we've done, if I show you on the map here, we've got, I mean, I can go a little bit wider up through there. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference, but we might do a little bit extra. So we've outlined most of this. Now, there's not very much space that they can get across to like that, so it's really kind of a separate field up there. Then you've got all of this bit round here, and it does actually go all the way round down to that bit there. You've got a little strip down through there, and a patch there that we can plough in. That bit there is an island, and then you've got all of these bits up through here. So most of this is going to, I mean, there's a line through there. So we'll end up planting most of this. It's going to take a while to do the planting, I think, but we're going to have like 10 different planters going. I'm going to modify one so that I can do like an outside run to make it a bit easier, and then we can put hired help going all over the map and get it really get stuck into it. So we're over here at the moment. I'm going to try to do some outlines on some of these smaller fields and see what we can make from them. So that's today's task that we want to get done. We just engage the allow create fields, and we can get over to near to the fence. And I might actually try to get a little bit closer to the edges and to the fence than what I was previously doing. I think we could get away with that, especially if I'm modifying a seed drill to do the outside run on most of it. And we're certainly ploughing up everything, and then we will attempt to plant everything as well, but we're going to have to sort of, one, we need to keep an eye on time, and two, I also need to keep an eye on how entertaining it is, because I could understand, I don't really want to do too many more episodes of the ploughing than this, because it's going to start to get really tedious, isn't it? It's not going to be entertaining for you to watch, and if it's not entertaining for you to watch, I don't really want to make it. So we've got a lone tree there. I think we'll ignore the tree, we'll just go around it, and then we'll just have to nurse the combine round that particular one. I'm not going to go too close to the railway, because it does seem to be, it's a little bit rough in places next to the rail, so I'm going to avoid it in places. Then we've got some rather undulating ground here, which is going to be very, very difficult for our 90-foot headers to negotiate when we come to actually doing the harvest. But I'm going to include that. I'm going to plough that bit up, because so many of you did say, make islands, plough up every road you can, every inch of land that you can plough, put a plough through it. So that's what we're doing. And we can actually go all the way down through here. I thought that was going to be a fence along that one. So we can go on a bit further, which means that I think it's that road ahead of us that is actually one that's got a fence through it. So we go racing down towards that one, and we get an outline. We are going to go inside that fence line in a minute, and we're going to try to plough up the fertilizer that we've already put on the ground there, and we'll see what it does. So we can sort of have a look at how it reacts to the plough and everything. And then, we'll sort of take it from there and see what we're going to do. Whoops. Okay, that wasn't quite part of the plan. Let me just come around this one. So we've got to go on this side of that fence there. And what is it? Oh, it's just like a... Oh, that's where you buy the animals. If you're going to actually do it legit and do it properly, that's where you go to buy the animals. And that's the cattle markets. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, well, the auction yards or the cattle markets, whatever you want to call them, that's in there. So, but we didn't exactly do it legitimate, did we? I mean, we've got 5,000 cows. I mean, at the moment, we've got more than that. We've got sheep is 2,519. Cows are 5,100 now, aren't they? 5,102 cows. We do need to get more grass. That's going to be something that I'm going to do next week, I think, is we're going to try to alter the way that the grasshopper... Someone did suggest that I could just bale up a few bales. Bale up a couple of bales of grass, and then after I've baled them up, then go back through and alter them like I did with the other bales, change them to 4 million litres each. I might just do that. That is quite a bit easier, but at the same time, I still want to be able to do something on screen, because if I do that all for everything off screen, we're not actually going to have anything to do here on screen. I mean, I know I've got this ploughing to do, but I don't just want to be doing this ploughing, because, like I said, it's going to get a little bit dull, isn't it? We don't want to be doing this too much more now. We've sort of seen the plough. I did have suggestions of making the plough considerably bigger than it is right now, and then using it. But I mean, I thought about that. But it would be quite difficult to manage in places where I'm sort of drawing these outlines. It would be quite difficult to sort of deal with the plough and how it was moving and the width of it if I was to go much bigger than it is right now. So that's the reason that I haven't. But I mean, maybe I will for part of the next episode. No, I don't think I will. Someone did suggest, and I did seriously consider this, to make the plough like really super wide and just plough everything, and then like plant an outline. So I'm actually that's another one that I've toyed with quite a bit. So like plough these outlines here just to sort of show you like the idea of it, and then get a super wide plough that we would cover, would like it'd be about a quarter of the way across the map, and use that one to plough up the majority of the map. What do you guys think of that idea? I mean, it's a little bit different to what I would normally do. Normally, if I've taken the time to do this, I would then want to kind of keep everything as it is. But, you know, taking a plough that reaches about a quarter of the way across the map and then just running around the outside edge, so I'm ploughing literally everything across the map. I don't know if I don't know. That seems a little bit too extreme. I mean, I know that this is an unrealistic series, so it's not out of the question. We could do it. I mean, we then run the danger of not having any grass at all for the poor cows, but I mean, we could probably work around that. Maybe just have it a little bit narrower, so it's like that wide. So when you run down that side of the map, and it sort of comes out about this far, all the way down, it would plough everything. And if I had a wide cedar, we could probably plant most of it as well. So literally, then, I mean, actually, now that I'm talking about this, oh, we got eggs. We got loads and loads of eggs. I had no idea. I knew that there had to be eggs somewhere. How do I get under there? Maybe not quite that far down. No, I still can't get through there. Is there any more eggs? I think that's it. I think that is it for eggs. We have no more. So, yes, we would then have, rather than, I mean, this textured grass here that you can see, the weeds and stuff, that would still be showing through anyway. But, I mean, it would literally plough everything right the way through. Around the edges of the buildings. I don't think it would actually plough inside the building. It would certainly come up to the edge of the building. All of it would be ploughed. Every single little inch would be ploughed. And then we would go through with a very wide cedar, and everything would be planted as well. So we wouldn't be able to reach it all with a combine, but we would certainly be able to reach it with everything else. What do you think of that idea? There's something for you to think about, and let me know in the comment section today. Do you want me to finish this off? Because I won't be finishing it off in the next couple of days. It'll be later in the week that I would do it before the next series. I would do a lot more ploughing. I'm certainly going to make the plough wider than it is in order to sort of do the filling in. Do you want me to sort of keep going like I'm going? We're going to do some more outlining now. That's kind of the main topic for today. But, yeah, what about just literally ploughing every single inch of it? It'll be the roads, it'll be everything. Everything will be ploughed, and everything will be planted. The entire map. I mean, if it would take it, if it would show up on it... no, I want to do that. I want to go... Nope, not one times. I want to go like that. I want to run. There we go. Let's go a little bit faster. If it would take it, I mean, if it like would show up on it as well, we run the plough up close to here and then run the cedar as well. So you could even have like crop growing inside the greenhouse on the house here all the way around. It would go right up under the porch, everywhere. Literally, we would cover the entire map. Every single tiny square centimetre on this map would then be covered. What do you... Is that kind of thing that some of you have been picturing, or are you liking the way that I'm doing it right now, leaving these islands, sort of leaving some of the map actually functional, or do you want me to just say, you know what, let's go for it. This is unrealistic. Let's actually do something unrealistic for a change instead of like trying to stick to vaguely real life, because we don't want vaguely real life. We want vaguely completely nothing to do with real life whatsoever. Let's live in the fantasy land that you've promised us, Frith. So what do you want? It's up to you. Oh, how's this one doing? It's not gone very far. He's doing okay at the moment. So yes, what do you want me to do? Let me start that one up again. And right, I think we'll go down to where am I going to want to go? If I go, well, we've done a big piece all the way around that now, haven't we? So we want to jump down here near the lives. Oh no, I want to go to this bit where the fertilizer is. So let's drop down to this corner up here so that we can start doing an outline, and that'll take us down towards where all the fertilizer is. And where's the edge that I want to work to? So I'm help A, that's one of the sugar beet harvesters has now completed its epic task. That is some sugar beet harvest that we've done up there. Let me lower that one into the ground. It's got to unfold first. There we go, and it would help if I allowed create fields. There we go. Yeah. The more I'm thinking about this to myself, the more I'm thinking that this could be interesting. Obviously, this is something I'm putting down to the comment section today. I mean, I still want to hear what you want me to plant here next week, but we could spend the first episode next week literally ploughing every tiny square millimetre of this map. And a millimetre, for those of you in the US, is I think it's about it's bigger than a 16th of an inch. It's smaller than a 16th of an inch. I think it's about 1/32 of an inch, a millimeter. No, it's 25. 1 inch is around about 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters. So it's 1 inch is about 25 millimeters. So it's 1/25 of an inch, roughly. So yeah, but anyway, I know most of you in the States are aware of the metric system and how the size of it. But I've met plenty of people even in this country, and this country is now a metric country, who still work in imperial and have no clue what an actual what's the word I'm looking for? Decimal, not decimal. No, yeah, is it decimal? You know, I have no idea. You got imperial, and then you've got, I think it's is it decimal? No. Oh, the word has slipped my mind temporarily. I'm not quite sure what it is, but anyway, there's a word there somewhere that describes the numerical system that we currently have, and I absolutely can't remember. It includes things like Celsius rather than Fahrenheit. You know, people talk to me, if I see things in Fahrenheit, I've got no clue what they mean. Literally no clue. I've no idea. You shout a number at me and it's this many Fahrenheit, and I'm just blank. What is that, like body temperature? Is that warm? Is that cold? 40 degrees. It's 40 degrees outside. Well, that actually seems pretty warm to me, considering that a hot summer day is actually about 33. Well, 33 is like really pushing it for a hot summer day. The record temperature in his country is 37 degrees. Oh, you're talking in Fahrenheit. Isn't 40 like freezing or something? That's what I don't get. How is 40 freezing? Where's the 0 point? This is why I don't get on with Fahrenheit. It's just too confusing for my poor simple mind. It really is. I can't cope with it. It's just too much for me. Anyway, I got distracted. What was I talking about? You know, I genuinely have no idea. This time I really do. It'll probably come back to me in the middle of the next episode that I record. So anyway, I know what I was talking about. And first of all, what's going to happen when we go through here? Is it going to plough every single little bit of it up? Right, well, it does plough it, so we've lost all of that fertilizer. That fertilizer is now gone. The next question is, did it actually fertilize it? So let's just go down here, and we go to growth, soil composition. No. It did not fertilize it. If you remove that one, although it's fertilized that. Oh, it's something to do with the ploughing, and because we're ploughing the crop in, it's actually fertilizing it. And I'm not sure how that works, but that's not to do... Yeah, so the fertilizer that we ploughed in, I don't know where that's come from. But we've got lines of... We've got fertilizer here in places. Wherever we've ploughed on crop that's still standing, that's actually now fertilizing the land. So that works. So we're going to have patches of fertilizer all over this now. Let's go back over to there. So there's our outlines here, and we're going to go on to a couple more. It's almost done. It's so close. We got one of them is finished. He's down here or up here. He's probably down that end, actually, because it doesn't seem to show up the machines when they're right on the edge. I got a few of them around the edge there, and they're not showing up. Right, so if you stick fertilizer on the ground and then you plough over it, it doesn't actually fertilize the ground. And that, to me, seems wrong. It probably seems wrong to many of you. That doesn't seem like it's something that should happen. It's something that's... Yeah, so we'll see about that. I did have quite a few people ask me if I could plough the big long line of fertilizer into the ground. I did try jumping the bulldozer over it a bit. I think we will come back to that, but I mean, this job now needs to take priority. We do need to... I want to get everything ploughed and everything planted before we finish, because I'd like to do this harvest. This harvest is like quite important to me. I think it would be really cool to be able to actually do it. It's a huge job. It's a big commitment that we've got to do. So it's not going to be easy to try to complete. Which means it's going to be more fun. I'm actually really enjoying doing this, and I know that it's probably getting a bit dull now. So this is why I'm asking: do you want me to try and do a whole load of work to this? I mean, once we do the outside round, I mean, I'll quickly show you here, because I sort of found out a little bit after yesterday's episode. If I come around here, most of it's done. As soon as you've actually got the outside line done, most of it is then finished. I mean, you just follow the edges of the fields a little bit, and you just fill in these little patches. And it does not take very long to do the last little bits. It's going to take longer to do some of those bits, because some of those bits are pretty big, admittedly. But still, you get the idea. That's done now. We finished that bit. and then I can move on down, and I'll just sort of work my way around the field. And there, that's a bit done. We do have in here, though, a small island that we need to go and deal with, and that is around Mary's farm. Mary has decided to park her farm right in the middle. The other thing is we're going to have to use direct drills on this because we're drilling in the crop that is already here. And another thing is I'm going to need to get rid of those balers, and there's a baler at the back of that one. We'll worry about that. That's a minor detail to concern ourselves with later. But yes, do you want me to plough every single tiny millimetre of this map? Do you want the whole map to be just one giant field of grain? And what grain am I going to be planting? I'm actually thinking I would really prefer to grow wheat. I mean, I know that you do grow some barley in Texas, but I think wheat is like the big crop is wheat, isn't it? That's, you got the bread basket there, and wheat seems to be like the big export for that area of the world. So I'm thinking that really we should be going with wheat just to kind of fit in with that and make sure that we're doing things as realistically as possible, because obviously we're all about realism. We don't want to be straying from the realm. We don't want to be doing anything ridiculous. We don't want to be planting a crop that you wouldn't normally plant, because that's, yeah, we can't be doing something that's unrealistic, can we? Let's be honest here. We need to keep things sensible, and we need to keep things serious. I managed to say most of that with a straight face. I'm quite impressed. Right, so there's that bit. Right, okay, let's move on to... Let's ignore the rest of it here. We want to go on to the next island. We'll do that one. Right, well, we're actually going around a lot of that. There's a piece there that we're not really going to do anything with. Let's go here to the small one, and we'll see what this one gets us. Let's go to that. We need to unfold it again. And we can dip the plough into the ground right where we are. And allow create fields. Right, let's get going. So we want to head down alongside the train track again this time. And for the most part, this one's going to be relatively straightforward. There's a bit of a lump there next to the track, so we'll sort of pull it away from that a little bit just to make it a bit easier. Obviously, if you decide that you do want me to change the plough, I don't think it'll be this one. I'm thinking I'll go for like a rigid 6-furrow plough or something like that and make it a bit easier. If I do need to modify one to plough every single tiny millimetre of this map, every single square inch, then I'll use a different plough than this one. I'd like to keep this one as it is, because I think this one's actually quite a nice one to use for some other tasks as well, because we could put this one going when we move to the Australian map. The Australian map is getting closer and closer to being finished. Really looking forward to that one. And as soon as it's done, as soon as it's getting ready, I will obviously be posting links to the main page that it's going to be on, the website it's going to be using, anything like that. I will make sure that you're able to access it, and you can download and use it if you want to. It's going to be gorgeous. A 16 times map. And I've sort of looked at the pictures of this, and I've looked at the scale of it. I couldn't even do that map on a time-lapse and make it work properly. If I was to do that on a time-lapse, I would not have the time. I would not be able to make it work effectively and properly. I just wouldn't be able to do it. So the only type of series that I could really and honestly run to any kind of quality would be something like this. A completely, totally unrealistic series on that map. So that is the plan, is I'm going to do an unrealistic one. We're going to be doing a couple of weeks in South America. I don't actually think we need more than a couple of weeks in South America. So on November the 13th, we'll be doing a couple of, a couple of weeks of like playing around with sugarcane and stuff like that, just to see what it's all about. And then after a couple of weeks, we're then moving to the Australian map. It should be done by then. I've been told it's not going to be very long at all now before it's finished. And I might, I'm not guaranteeing it, but I might, at the moment it's looking like I might very well, but I might be able to do a first look video, just at the time, like just before it's released publicly. I may be allowed to do a first look video at this map and just demonstrate to you everything that's on there. The guy that's created it, he's written a huge instruction manual for it. I mean, the instruction manual alone is looking pretty impressive. for all the different bits and pieces that are on this map. It's just incredible. The work, the love, the attention to detail that has gone into this map is just amazing. And ooh, there we go. My timer's going off to say that I have run out of time and I need to stop talking. For those of you who've watched a few of my videos now, you've probably realised that me stopping talking is about as likely as me just stopping breathing. It's not something that happens very often. I tend to just talk, and then when I've gotten bored with doing that, then I'll talk some more. And my wife tells me that I talk in my sleep, so yeah, there's not really much hope of me stopping. There is times when I stop talking. I stop talking when I'm eating, sort of. It's a bit difficult to formulate the words when you've got a mouthful of food, but it can be done if you persevere. It can be done. Right. My question for this week is, do you want me to keep the frame rate up in the top left-hand corner? We got currently it's saying 60 frames a second, because this week we haven't really done anything to push the frame rate on the computer, so we've not really needed to worry about it. And also, as a standard rule on this map, I run it on medium settings rather than mine. I normally run everything on ultra high, but I run this on medium settings because it wasn't recording very well. It was getting very, very glitchy, and it wasn't giving us a very nice video at all. So I changed it all round, and I run it on medium settings, so it's gone back to my cool, calm, collected 60 frames a second, which means that I can record at 60 frames a second, and it gives you a smooth viewing experience. There are places where it gets a bit glitchy, but generally it seems to do okay. So, do you want me to keep the frame rate up there so that you can also see when we're having a good time with this and when things aren't going quite so well, or would you rather I just got rid of it? It's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And let's move down to there, and we'll start doing this one. So I want to go there, and then I want to unfold it. I want to allow create fields, drop it in the ground and get going so we can get another little island outlined. So what do you want me to do next week? This is the important thing that I need you to tell me this week in the comment section. I also need you to tell me what crop you want me to plant, but you know, that one we can sort of just we can wing it with that one. But what do you want me to do with the rest of the ploughing? Do you want me to do the ploughing kind of like I've done it, sort of stay within the outlines, leave where the tracks and everything are? Most of you said you wanted me to just leave isolated little islands on the farm here and there wherever I couldn't get the plough into, but then a couple of you said make the plough super wide, plough up the whole map, literally plough every single little bit that can be ploughed. I might leave a little tiny bit of grass available inside the cattle pens so that we can still give the cows grass, but beyond that I probably won't do anything. I do actually have an idea for how I can get round doing that as well, so I could literally plough every single tiny centimetre on this map. But I need you in the comment section, I need you to tell me if you want that or not, because if that's something that you really don't like the idea of and then I go and do it, it's going to really spoil the whole effect of what we're trying to achieve here, and I don't want that. So I want you to have your say, but obviously not everybody's going to be happy. So if you think that it's not really going to bother you either way, then obviously, you know, you don't need to comment. I mean, I'd still like you to comment, I'd still like you to come and have your say, but if you think that you really, you know, you feel sort of fairly strongly about this, one way or the other, make sure you have your say. That's what it's there for. That's what the comment section is there for. It's to interact and to tell me when you think I'm doing something right, and to say, oh, for goodness sake, Frith, grow up. I mean, really, do you really want to do that? You know, I haven't actually had anyone tell me to grow up yet. I've had a few people tell me that this series is the most ridiculous thing they have ever seen in their lives, and I need to start playing this game properly. But I think they kind of missed... I think those people kind of missed the point of this series. This series is not about playing the game. Well, see, I'm still playing the game. That's the thing. I'm not performing any hacks. I'm not breaking the game. I'm not doing anything that the game was never intended to do. I'm doing everything that this game originally intended, just, you know, pushing it to the absolute limits of what we're able to do with what the game was originally intended. And that's what I want to do, because I don't see any other people doing a series like this. And for me, it's not always about being as absolutely realistic as possible. Sometimes it's about just have a bit of fun. Kick back, have a little fun. I mean, everybody's done it. Even the most serious of serious players have at some point taken a vehicle and driven it into a pile of bales, or just, you know, rammed the cars in a street, tried to go and pick the cars up as they're driving around, that sort of thing. Everybody's done it, and yes, it might not be your normal style of gameplay, but you don't always go to YouTube to watch exactly what you do on your own PC, do you? Or your console or whatever. Sometimes you go to YouTube to see things that you don't do every day, and to see someone else do it. See someone else take the time to mess up a map so that you don't have to. So here I am messing up this map so that you don't have to. The sacrifices I make, it's just incredible, isn't it? I'm sacrificing myself for my art and for you guys. That's what I'm doing. Okay, maybe not quite sacrificing, but there we go. I mean, you get the idea, right? Let me unfold and allow create fields, lower it in. So we've got, this isn't actually a field. This is just kind of a little bit of no man's land down here without anything on it. It looks like, to be honest, it's one of those areas that was intended for a placeable. If you wanted to put a placeable down, you can put it here. And what is that there? Oh, it's a bin. It's a couple of bins. We've got a couple of bins there. There's one there and one there. We come up round this way. So, yes, if you are wanting me to literally plough every single tiny inch of the map, and I will know by this time next week, I will take this plough as it is, and I will plough through the town here. That is one thing I'm going to do with the one as it's set as it is. And then I will get a newly modified plough that is considerably bigger than this one. It's not physically bigger. It won't be a trailed one. I'll keep that one as a rigid one. It'll be easier to control, I think. At least that's my theory. It'll be a bit easier to control in theory, but in practice, who knows? And then I will use that one, and I will try to plough up the entire map, and we'll see if we can get that done in a single episode. I'm going to make it wide enough to cover most of the stuff. I mean, it's not going to be like a quarter of the map or anything, but it's certainly going to be a lot wider than this one. We're looking at probably, if you look in the top left of the map, field 1 is probably going to be a little bit wider than field 1, maybe 1.5 times that size. So we are going to have to do a few passes on the map, but at the same time, it's not going to be too bad. Now, these sugar beet harvesters seem to have come to a stop, so I'm just going to stop that tractor right there, and we're going to flick through to the sugar beet harvesters as quickly as we can, like that. There we go. It does look like they finished, so if I just stop you a moment, I did say that we might actually finish, we might tip these out into the gorge today, but we have run out of time. We do have the bit over there, I haven't forgotten it. Oh, there we go. Drifting with sugar beet harvesters. Fantastic. Someone said in the comments, I can't remember who it was, I'm really sorry, I can't remember. I absolutely loved that comment, it was fantastic. This is not Tokyo Drift, this is Texas Drift. This is the, well, I can't remember what the full comment was now. Oh, I'm gutted. I can't remember what the comment was. It was literally, it was like, Farming Simulator Texas Drift or something like that. It was brilliant after I was sliding around with these Holmers. And that was such an awesome comment. I mean, I really like the Fast and Furious series. I think they're absolutely fantastic. But yes, so we're doing our own version of it right here. This is not Texas Drift. This is not Tokyo Drift, sorry. This is Texas Drift. This is Farming Simulator Texas Drift. And it's still stopping. Look at that. I don't know why it's doing it from that way. I'll tell you what, let's go up this end and see if we can sort of drop the thing in from this direction and maybe do it back in the other way. Maybe just for that last little bit. I just want to start it, at least. If I can just start this, then the rest of it should be okay. Stop, stop, stop! But yeah, I really do need to go. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give me a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. We'll just run up through here and see how much of this is going to do and how much is not going to do. Okay, so there's a patch right there. If you look at that, there's obviously an area there in the middle that it doesn't like. For whatever reason, it's decided it doesn't like that little patch there. So let's just have it turn around and see what it's going to do. It's probably just going to do that. So that will... That's really weird, isn't it? Yeah, I got to be honest, that is a very strange thing. That there's a little piece there that it doesn't officially recognise as field of any kind. And then it will start, and it'll do exactly the same. So it's just like a little piece there in the middle. There's no man's land that it won't own, it doesn't recognise. And this might also, I mean, at the moment, every time I start this map up, because I've got courseplay active, it really struggles to identify where all the fields are. With everything that I'm doing to sort of butcher the fields and how they are, it really doesn't like it. Right, that one's just going to get its wiggle on now for a little while. And, yeah, that is everything I've got time for. So, until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.